Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? My name is Esmeralda Blanc. I am the Roundtable Commissioner for Wapelonaswa, live from Philmont, and my partner is?
I'm Angelique Minette, and I am the Roundtable Commissioner for Ishkote. And I have a special guest with me here today. This is Scott Sorrells, and he is our National Commissioner. Awesome, exciting. So we're going to get started, and then he has a few things to say to Rainbow Council, which is very cool.
All right. I'd like to introduce to you Paul McDonald, who will lead us in the pledge.
Hello, everyone. I was asked to give a brief introduction of myself. I am the National Service Territory 5 Sea Scout Commodore out of Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas, where I live. It does get confusing on game day every once in a while at the college level. I'm really excited to be here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Those in uniform, scout sign or hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Esmeralda.
Thank you, Paul. Next, I have Bethy, who will lead us in the Scout Oath and Law. Bethy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bethy Taylor. I am from the Occoneechee Council in North Carolina. Please join with me in reciting the Scout Oath and Law. Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Thank you, Bethy.
Thank you, Bethy. All right. Next up, we have Amanda Herman, who is a committee chair for PAC 31 in Mokina and Troop 40 in Mokina, as well as a committee member for the Rainbow Council Diversity and Inclusion.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Herman and I am committee chair for Mokina PAC 39 and Mokina Troop 40, and I'm also a member of the Rainbow Council Diversity and Inclusion Committee as well. Today I'm going to share with you a traditional Buddhist prayer. The author is unknown, so go ahead and prepare yourself for prayer however feels right for you, and we can get started. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is sorrowless. And may all live in equanimity without too much attachment and too much aversion, and live believing in the equality of all that lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. All right. All you, Angie.
All right, so I'm going to spotlight here, and this is Scott, and Scott is our National Commissioner, and he's going to talk to you for a little bit.
Good evening, folks. Greetings from Philmont Scout Ranch, and I got to say this is one of the highlights of my week to reach out and say hello. We have had a great week out here. The weather's been absolutely gorgeous, and we've had a great Commissioner week. A lot of our focus has been on our cultural statement and trying to figure out how we can take that to a level where it really is part of who we are as commissioners, as volunteers, as professionals. And of course, our cultural statement is be the heart, and the Commissioner Corps is, in my view, the heart of scouting. Second phrase is build relationships. We need to be about building relationships. And that's even more important than whether or not you get the tool filled out or an assessment done. If you have that relationship, with your unit leaders and can help them be successful, then that is a huge success for our youth. And then finally, we do it because we change lives. And I'm going to tell you a little story. As we've gone through the past 2 years, we're all chief morale officers for the Boy Scouts of America. And I get a lot of morale boost from hearing stories of scouts who are involved in the program today and who demonstrate through their story that they live and breathe scouting and that we are in fact changing their life. So being out here in Philmont, as you probably know from the news, we have had some fire challenges out here. We lost one of our cabins down on the south end of the property. There's still another fire nearby. I think things are more under control now. Say a prayer there. But one thing that's been amazing is watching the firefighter response to these really tragedies for this area of Mexico. And we've housed a number of those firefighters here at Philmont, fed them at the training center. And they are true servant leaders. So with that in mind, I wanted to tell you the story of a young man named Elliot Paisner. And Elliot is 21 from Atlanta. He is currently a college student. Elliot grew up in the Atlanta Area Council, and he is on the autism spectrum. And early in his life, he was often told what he couldn't do. Got involved in scouting, wrapped himself in the love and respect of some great volunteers, many of whom he mentioned during his talk at this huge banquet of like 1,200 people. And he talked about how they had refused to accept that he had any limits and have kept pushing him. And he ended up being the staff director for Bird Adams Scout Camp, which is a huge camp in the Atlanta Area Council. That's a significant job. And he became the lodge chief for their OA Lodge, which is a large lodge. And that's remarkable. One of the humorous comments he said is scouting helped him figure out how to be a success. And one of the things he figured out is he couldn't drink Mountain Dew at camp. That's okay, I understand that. So we fast forward after his success story, becoming an Eagle Scout. And he is now a college student, and he is studying to be a forest fighter. And after watching the courage of the firefighters that we've had out in the Philmont area, I mean, you're talking about people, working 12-hour shifts, rappelling out of helicopters onto ridges to try to stop fires, to save families, to save property. It really is quite remarkable. And someone asked him, why would you want to fight forest fires for a living? And he said that he wanted to be there on some of the worst days that someone could have. And he wanted to be part of trying to help. I think he learned that in scouting. And he's a remarkable young man. I will tell you, after his presentation, there were probably 1,200 people in the room. And he got a standing ovation like you would not believe, because he was a living embodiment of the Scout Oath and Law and how we change lives. Thank you for what you do. God bless you. If we can support you in any way in being successful in serving units and changing lives, not just of youth, but adults too, let us know. Thanks for letting me join you.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, thank you.
All right. So next up, I have former National Commodore T.W. Cook, who's going to tell us a little bit about Sea Scouts.
Thank you, Esmeralda. So I just wanted to remind you, as all of you are out there trying to grow scouting, that Sea Scouts is an option that's available to you. We're the original Older Scout program in the Boy Scouts of America, been around since 1912. But recently, we've really revamped the program to strongly embrace paddlecraft, canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, to give you a lot more options. There really is hardly anywhere in the country that's not a viable option for outdoor adventure. And you can build a unit around that. It's not really any harder than starting any other kind of unit. It's the same sort of BSA process and paperwork. But the opportunity is to focus on adventure on the water. For a lot of young people, that's really appealing. So give it some consideration, and hopefully we'll get some ships started in your area. Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it. So if you're interested in starting a Sea Scouting program, we know we can do it. All right, moving right along. Let me go back to sharing this. Woohoo. All right, next I have one of my classmates during my commissioner week here, Scott Moreland, and he is going to read us the Scout Law Point.
Thank you, Esmeralda. Good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Moreland. I'm a district commissioner and assistant council commissioner from the Mountain West Council out of Boise, Idaho. And I'm going to do the Scout Law Point. Tonight's point is brave. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is a feeling the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, and deciding that something else is more important. That's Marley Mason out of Health Sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our safety moment for this month is on hydration. So we figured this was appropriate considering where we were. It doesn't get much better than a week at summer camp or a backpacking trek. It's easy to get caught up in the fun on a hot summer day and not pay attention to how the heat is affecting your body. But ignoring the heat can lead to illness and death. This can be avoided by acclimatization, planning, resting, keeping an eye on each other, and drinking plenty of water. Our favorite phrase, hydrate before you dehydrate. Take a look at your urine color. Make sure that your colors don't get any darker than the very, very top one. So stay hydrated, everyone. Our info minute. This is Angie's baby.
All right, guys, so we are going to do our info minutes. And unfortunately, because I am not on my desktop, I cannot do the big floating head that I normally do. But we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to forge ahead. And we have got our topic that we're going to start with is Cub Scout camps. There's a lot of news in Cub Scout camps right now. We have the Cub Scout Outdoor Adventure is for Cub Scouts entering grades 1 through 5, and registration has been extended. It is going to be on June 21st through June 23rd from 3 to 8 p.m. in Bonfield Park in Bonfield, Illinois. It is $50 per scout, and you can register online. Unfortunately, Cub Scout Day Camp is canceled for this year. However, Cub Scout Summer Camp and Webelos Summer Camp are still happening. So you can go to our council website for dates and registration. Cub Scout Family Camp is also going to be at RSR, but that doesn't come until September. So that's a wonderful opportunity there too, September 16th through 18th, and the registration will be available for that soon. In OA news for unit leaders, as you may or may not have heard, Wapakon Lodge will not be holding ordeals at summer camp this year. However, the Lodge will hold 3 opportunities for candidates to complete their ordeal after summer camp: July 9th and 10th, July 18th and 19th, and September 9th and 11th. Registration for each can be found on our
Scout Roundtable.
website at www.oa197.org. Also, please be aware that callouts and brotherhood will be offered each Wednesday at summer camp. Moving forward, spring recruitment, the spring recruiting incentive claim form is available. Our Adventure On Spring Recruitment Incentive, Recruit and Save, each new scout is 1% off of camp, ended last week. So for each new scout your unit recruited from January 1st to 5th, your entire unit will receive 1% off of your fees for Rainbow Council Camp this summer. Note that new scouts mean those that are new to scouting entirely or have returned after some time away, and transfers from units do not count. So the claim forms are available on the council membership website, which is rainbowcouncil.org/about/membership. You can click on that Rainbow Council Volunteer Resources and then find all of these programs in this flyer. Backwards, nope, that way. Okay, Catholic Scouts, the 9th annual Rosary is going to be held August 6th through 7th at Corpus Christi Parish in Carroll Stream. The registration for that is a little bit different. It is not a council-sponsored event. It is a diocese-sponsored event. So dioceseofjoliet.org/scouting for more information. Dresden Merit Badge Clinic is August 13th. It is a go. It is open for registration, and they are also looking for volunteers for the day or for the whole weekend to help with check-in, custodial, and kitchen duties. If you volunteer, meals are included. Please contact Brian Schulte, and you can contact us and we'll let you know how to get a hold of him to assist, and to register, to go to our website to register. All right. Camp staff reunion. Exciting. Camp staff reunion for anyone who has been on RSR camp staff is July 18th from 1 to 9 p.m. and the cost is $20, which includes patch and dinner. And there will be RSR activities that will be capped off by a campfire. So come for some fellowship and meet the 2022 camp staff. Popcorn news, everybody's favorite time of the year. Popcorn training is going to be held Wednesday, June 15th at 6 p.m. via Zoom, and at least one person from every unit should attend. The link did go out in email to Key Threes or to Pass Popcorn Kernels, but if you're not sure where to sign up for that, just let us know and we'll drop that link in the comments. All right. In adult training news, we have in August, coming up August 27th and 28th, we have IOLS, Outdoor Leadership Skills. And this is for, especially for Scouts BSA leaders, especially Scoutmasters, to be position trained. However, it's beneficial to any adult leader in the troop level or a Cub Scout leader looking to improve their camping skills. And so that is coming up and you can sign up for it online. We also have a BALOO, Basic Adult Leader Outdoor Orientation, coming up in October 1st and 2nd. And that is for Cub Scout leaders who would like to be able to take Cub Packs camping. National Jamboree is coming up next year in July, and we are forming our council contingent now. If you are interested in that, please contact Stan Ray, and he will be able to let you know more about those opportunities. There's also a Facebook page for our contingent, and you can check there for updates. NYLT is coming up August 1st through 6th. The price just increased, but it's still open for registration now. National Youth Leadership Training is an awesome opportunity for all your Scouts BSA Scouts who are taking on leadership positions, and we have a wonderful staff this year that is heading that up. Please, please, please check your youth protection training and make sure that it is up to date. A reminder, if your youth protection training is not up to date, you are not qualified to be with your Scouts. So make sure everyone in your unit is up to date. Also a reminder, hazardous weather training needs to be updated every 2 years. Has yours been updated? Because I don't think mine has, and I need to go online and update it, especially before we head off into the summer season. And finally, as far as training updates go, remember, if you intend to take your Cubs or troops or crew swimming, there are some very specific qualifications that need to be met for swimming with your unit. And to find out more information about that, you need to have someone in your unit who has safe swim defense, preferably more than one person. So that is an excellent supplemental training that you can add to your repertoire and safely take your scouts swimming. Finally, remember, we are all volunteers from the unit on up to council, and many hands make light work. So if you have something that you are interested in helping with, please don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to find you your best fit so you can help scouting be awesome in Rainbow Council. Thank you, thank you. That's your info minute.
We just had a question about clarifying a date for the summer camp reunion. It is actually June 18th, not July 18th.
Apologies, that would be my fault, and thank you for clarifying that.
That's okay. Just want to make sure everybody got the right information. All right, next up, we have Melissa, who is giving us our membership minute. Melissa, did you want the slide up or are you good?
Show my little pretty slide. It's very exciting. It's up to you. If you can't get it, that's fine.
No, I can get it. I just want to make sure, what would you like? So here we go. There you go.
I worked really hard on my picture. There it is. Look at it. It's so exciting. Okay. Hi, everyone. Melissa Rubik, Vice President of Membership. I have a new fancy membership email. I'm putting it in the chat. Feel free to reach out for all things Rainbow Council membership on that email address. But for this month, we're talking about summer recruiting or spring recruiting, the sequel. So spring recruiting has wrapped up and fall recruiting won't start for a few months. So what should you do now? How about some fun summer recruiting? Like spring recruiting, now is a great time to add to your numbers and allow new families to ease into the program before school starts in the fall. But there is no need to hold specific recruiting events. Some units are taking the idea of normal friend activities and expanding them throughout the summer. Maybe plan a day out at the park, a movie under the stars, or even a day out at the splash pad. Invite your unit and have them bring some friends. These little to no cost events are a great way to keep your scouts active over the summer, as well as engage your community in all the fun scouting can offer. This also allows membership to grow more organically. No need to provide a recruiting table and no pressure on the invited guests that they should join. Just make sure your leadership is available if anyone has questions about the program. Hopefully by the end of the summer, you'll have gained a new scout or two, or even a new leader. Either way, your scouts had fun, your community is engaged, and you've built some good recognition for when you start your fall recruitment.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Any questions for Melissa on recruiting or membership in general? If you have anything, drop them in the chat and she will follow up with you.
All right. Next up is our general topic. So we have a little something to share with you guys.
Yo. We're here. Okay, so it was a little choppy because we're on Wi-Fi and a lot of people are on Wi-Fi right now, but we're having a lot of fun. We're learning a lot. If you have never been to a Philmont conference, it's a lot of fun. There is something for everyone. So we're here for Commissioner Week, but there are also can you stop the share for a minute? There are also other tracks that you can take as a leader. There's something geared towards Cub Scout leaders and geared towards Scouts BSA leaders and geared towards special interests. And you're around other people who are super stoked and engaged about scouting with scouting. There's a fantastic family program. So while you are doing some amazing things, your family, from everything from toddlers on up through teenagers and spouses, have amazing adventures to go on while you are learning. And they even let you out to go do adventures too. So we can't recommend it enough. We are excited to bring home some new things that we've learned to Rainbow Council. And if you have any questions about attending a Philmont conference in the future, hit us up because we are super excited to share about it.
Absolutely.
All right.
So next comes our breakout sessions. So we have our breakout session for Cub Scouts is parents to leaders. And the Scouts BSA is, let me do this right, Adventure Ready Scouters. So as soon as Angie sets up this breakout room, you get to pick out one of them. Angie will be in the Scouts BSA and I will be running the Cubs breakout session. There we go.
Hello and welcome to this month's Roundtable. A while back, as a fairly new troop adult volunteer, I had my first experience with a cope high ropes course. I'm pretty afraid of heights. Okay, I'm very afraid of heights. But I reasoned if I was going to ask my scouts to climb up there and give it their best shot, I should lead by example. After all, I felt I had no major health concerns and was reasonably physically fit. So I put on the harness and helmet and got in line to climb the first obstacle, a hanging, segmented climbing pole. Halfway up that pole, as my fingers and arms burned and my feet slipped out from under me, I realized I had grossly overestimated my physical capabilities. My belayer ended up hauling me up the pole by my harness, and the rest of the course was equally difficult and painful. In fact, here's a picture to commemorate my misery. By the time my shaking legs hit the ground at the end of the course, I knew something was going to need to change for me to be physically fit enough to keep up with my scouts on future adventures. It's easy to overlook our own health and fitness when we're planning high adventure with our scouts. High adventure trips are physically demanding and have inherent risks. Serious illnesses and injury can occur when you're not prepared, including strains, sprains, fractures, and cardiac events, which can be further compounded by being in a backcountry location far from emergency services. A full list of potential medical risks can be found here. But our motto in the Boy Scouts of America is be prepared. Part of being prepared for going on high adventures is learning how to mitigate these risks by honestly identifying our own medical issues and physical limitations, in addition to those of our scouts before we are on our trip. Physical fitness looks different for every person and is based on each person's unique combination of physical capabilities and health needs. The best and safest way to determine what your personal health and physical fitness goals should look like is to consult with your healthcare providers before you begin any training regimen. The first thing you can bring with you to help start that conversation with your healthcare provider is the annual health and medical record, which you can find here at scouting.org. Part C of the annual health and medical record, which is required for resident camps, events longer than 72 hours, and high adventure activities, helps your medical provider evaluate each of your major body systems. It also contains a chart to help you and your provider to determine if your weight and height puts you at a risk for high adventure activities. If you are attending one of BSA's high adventure bases, be sure you also review the High Adventure Risk Advisory section for the base you are attending with your healthcare provider. The risk advisories for each base can be found here. The risk advisory provides detailed information on the extent of the physical and psychological demands you will encounter on your adventure, which many providers may not be familiar with. You'll need to have an open and honest conversation with your provider about whether it is appropriate for you to go on the adventure. If you determine the trip is appropriate, the next step is to form a fitness and healthcare plan with your provider to ensure you are physically fit enough to meet the challenge. Besides, being physically prepared for your adventure will greatly enhance the enjoyment of your trip. For me personally, my doctor recommended losing weight, strength training, and building my cardiorespiratory fitness, and I began a year-long program to meet those goals. I am happy to report my efforts to be prepared led to a very enjoyable canoe trek at Northern Tier. If you're preparing to go on a high adventure, consider presenting the Be Prepared for High Adventure safety moment at your next troop or committee meeting. This safety moment will help you start a conversation with both your scouts and your adult volunteers about honestly assessing readiness. Just like your scouts, it's important to begin working on your own health and physical fitness with your healthcare provider long before your high adventure. As adult volunteers, we can lead by our own example of being prepared. Please take the additional time to discuss the questions on screen, and thank you for all you do for scouting.
All right, so you just see me embarrass myself nationally about not being able to climb cope, but I did it. Not beautifully, but I did it. All right, so first question that we're going to discuss this evening, and we can actually, I will clip anything personal out of the video later. If there's something that you would prefer not to be on video, no problem. But first thing we need to discuss is why. Why should we be honest with both our physician and ourselves about our abilities, our physical fitness for a high adventure trek, or even just camping with our scouts? And this is the part where we have a group discussion, so we can come off of our microphones and just have a chat. It's great, it's relaxed, it's fun.
This is Ryan, I'll start. The first thing it does is puts our scouts in danger, because it puts a sense of fulfillment that we think that we can overachieve on some sort of high adventure like you were describing, and you start taking scouts along for that ride and you're not prepared to do what you're asking them to be doing, you're putting a lot of scouts at risk by doing that. So that's why one of the main reasons is to get trained like you're talking about and getting physically in shape.
Right, so yeah, absolutely. One of the things that can happen is we put our scouts in danger, and then we are putting them in the position where they're going to have to rescue us because we are not prepared. What else?
One of the things I was thinking about, you don't want to be known as that leader that held the group back.
True. And that was my motivation. I don't want to be the one who's holding everybody back. Yeah, absolutely. So for me personally, I didn't want to be limited to what I could do with my scouts because I wasn't fit enough to do it. I wanted to be able to keep up with them, and if they want to do the things, I want to be able to do the things safely and with energy that they're doing. Any other thoughts?
I feel like sometimes as adults, we also have to be the example. So like, I'm a 27-year-old, but I still make sure that every year I go and get my physical, and I'm trying to take care of my health, because I may be 27, but just because I'm 27 doesn't mean that, like, I would probably struggle with the COPE course too. And I've been a COPE director. So like, that is very much a fair thing to make sure that you're taking care of your physical health and making sure that you're honest about it. Because if you can't do something, be honest about it. Or work towards it,
Yeah. Great. Those are all great reasons. So let's move to the next question. So we pledge every time. We just sat down when we started and we said the pledge, and the oath and the law, but we pledge to be physically strong. Now, physically strong looks different for every person because every person has different capabilities, different bodies, different health issues, different ages. So physically strong looks different from every person. But why is it important that physically strong, that we strive for being physically strong? Why is that even in the oath? Oh, discussion, group discussion, guys. Just go out on a limb. It's good. So Scott is not in the room anymore. So you don't have to worry about saying anything in front of the National Commissioner. He's not here. It's just me. I'm the only one in this room.
So I think the reason why physically strong is very important, once again, just not just for the Scouts, but also for us, is we have to be physically capable to do the things that we are wanting to do in scouting. Scouting is a lot about outing. And if we're going to be out there working with the youth, we have to be a good example. We have to be able to have that stamina and all that kind of stuff to be able to participate in the outdoors. So keeping that physically strong is an important thing. And on top of that, if you look at it as like we're trying to grow youth into model citizens, when citizens and us are strong and taking care of our health, we're going to be a better citizen for our country versus if we are not taking care of our health or something like that.
Any other thoughts? It's great.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of common sense. Like say, when you get up to certain ages and that, there's some things you can do and some things you can't do. For example, I don't go on a lot of campouts, but I do drive a lot for local hikes or different things like that, wherever I can help out. And I know what my limitations are, and I would imagine I hope everybody else does too.
So that's great. Knowing your limits is very important. Eric, I want to think a little bit. You said something about being an example. Does that spark anything for anybody? So we're pledging the oath to be physically fit, and physically fit looks different for everybody. So physically for Mike is different than for Angie, is different from Eric, because we're all different people, different ages, different abilities. But why should we continue to practice being physically fit as adult leaders?
Angie, I think you touched on it before about being able to enjoy the adventures that you're going on with your boys.
True.
I finished my physical up with my doctor today so that I can go to a Boundary Waters trip next month with our troop. And being the old guy in the troop, you know, you've got to set that example that Eric was talking about. You know,
Ding, ding, ding. What's that? Can you repeat that last part again?
I said,
Got a what?
You need to set that example.
Yes.
You truly do, because, you know, some of the younger guys are, you know, they might struggle a little bit and say, you know, I'm not sure if I can do this. But if they consider that, you know, somebody is 5 times their age and can hang with the best of them, then they might see that as an inspiration for them to do better.
True.
And to fully engage and enjoy the adventure.
Absolutely. And even if your physical capabilities are such that you can't do that adventure, if you are demonstrating that you are taking your health and physical fitness it's important to you, no matter what your capabilities are, you are demonstrating physical fitness because you are showing your youth that it is an important concept to take care of yourself and your body and your capabilities. So,
well, and it's not just for now, for those guys who can't even imagine being the age that I'm at right now.
You're not that old. You're not that old.
That may. I'm retired now, Eric. So yeah, that may open their eyes a little bit and get them thinking about, you know, well, this is not just for today or next week or next year. It's for a lifetime.
Right.
And all of these life skills that we're working on are for a lifetime. They're not just for now.
Right. And I'll be honest, I wasn't very good about taking care of my physical fitness or health. And then I realized, you know, I'm saying this oath to my youth, and then they see me living something differently, then I am not being a good adult example for them. I am not living what I am pledging, and they know that, they see that. So for me, that was the thing that kind of like, oh, I should probably fix this. So, yeah. All right, we have one more question. So what are some actions, keeping in mind that everybody's physical fitness is unique to them? What are some actions, if you are comfortable sharing, that you personally take to make sure that you are physically fit? And it's okay if you don't want to share. So I shared mine for the whole nation, that I had to meet with my doctor and come up with a whole year-long plan, which was big and scary, but I did it. I'm very excited about it. So that was me working hard and sharing. If anyone is comfortable sharing, please do. It could be little. It could be like, I'm gonna drink my water and make sure my kids see that I'm drinking my water instead of a soda.
I have a challenge going with my daughter with our Garmin watches, where we try to outdo each other. And then I also have an app, just a basic pedometer on my phone, and I try to make green bars go all the way across that by busting 10,000 every day. And I can't do it every day, but I've got 25 in a row that I did. So I go out and do 4-mile walks, 5-mile walks in the neighborhood or out in the forest preserves or something like that, trying to keep it going, because it gets harder when you get older. And if I'm going to hang with these young guys in another month, I have my own son and a bunch of the football players that they hang out with. They're merciless. So it's good to be prepared with that and to have a plan to be able to do it. You really need to do that.
Anybody else?
So this is more towards nutrition, but it goes into physically fit. I try to make sure, at least during the school year, and of course during the summer, I'm going to be doing it too, of keeping track of how many times I'm eating fruits and vegetables within the day, and trying to make sure that I hit like at least, 2 to 3 servings of either, because I know that if I do that, I'm usually eating somewhat healthier than if I would just be eating whatever I was going to be eating. So just trying to keep a mental track of the food groups, because I think sometimes some of our youth may not always keep track of that. And it's very easy when you go to a camp and it's like, oh, there's Choco Tacos and there's all these cool things, in the trading post. But if you kind of try to keep track of like, oh, did I actually make sure that I had like some fruits today, some vegetables, making sure you hit those things really can go a long way.
So one thing that I'm personally doing is, so a lot of my scouts in my troop seem to derail on that 30-day physical fitness plan where they have to record something every day. They have to do the beginning and the end. So the last time that my troop worked on it as a group, I realized that none of the adults were participating in any way. And then I said, I wonder if buy-in would be better if the adults also did the plan and did the whole, I'm going to test myself at the beginning and I'm going to record everything. And you know what? It's working. They're doing it because they're seeing Mrs. Manette is doing her mile and doing her sit and reach with them, slower than turtles, but I'm doing it. And then following up with them, hey guys, how's your fitness plan going? So again, they see what we're doing and they internalize that. So if they see us taking it seriously, then they are more likely to take it seriously.
Let me know next time you do that and I'll join you.
Fantastic.
I like that.
Anybody have any others they'd like to share?
Well, there's also knowing your limitations.
Absolutely.
Like recently I've been in and out of the hospital. I was assistant scoutmaster in the troop and went camping a lot with the troop, but recently I found another niche in the troop that I could actually, a job that I could do as advancement chair, because I can't go camping anymore. When I help out with the OA, I also sleep in the camp office, because I know that's as far as I can get. Case in point, the fellowship, I ended up in the hospital instead of going out to RSR. But you have to know your limitations, and what you can do.
Absolutely. And that in itself sets a good example for the scouts, because you're knowing where your limits are, and that way they can see it's okay. If you're not ready, don't go for it. If that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. Karen, did you?
I also think that you need to keep an eye on how much sleep you get a night, because sometimes we tend to, oh, I'll make it up tomorrow. And then tomorrow something gets busy. So you just have to keep in mind how much sleep you're actually getting a night.
Awesome point. And think about, what are you modeling once again, what are you modeling for the kids? Cool. Anything else anyone wants to add on this topic? All right, then we will open the floor up to general conversation. Is there anything you guys are dying to know or have questions about or would like to talk about? Now's your chance.
I have an off the wall question, so to say.
Those are my favorite.
I am looking for somebody in the troop needs to go to finish up journalism. Everything is done, but she needs to do a visit to like a newspaper, and everybody reached out to is still under COVID restrictions and they're not open to the public.
Can they do a virtual tour?
So far, nobody has reached out and said they would do that.
Can you ask them specifically to do a virtual tour?
So just if anybody's got any ideas, let me know, because she's only got that one last thing to finish up.
I will ask around and see. Does it? Yeah. Let me see what I can do.
Thanks, Angie.
All right. Eyeball questions are my favorite questions.
And then one comment we do have, our troop went to Kentucky this weekend and we did kayaking in an underground cave. And they had glow sticks. So everything was lit up. So that was one of our best trips that we've been on yet.
Oh, can you post that information to the Facebook, the Roundtable page? Because I bet we have other people like me interested in more information on that. That's cool.
Will do.
All right, cool.
Angie.
Yes.
How much money have you spent at Youth of Time?
So personally, not terribly, because I came here last year, so I spent all my money last year. But I did get a ugly mug to brand, because I finally caved and got like the mug to brand, because I've been to 3 of the adventure bases and hadn't branded anything yet. So I got one of those. And what else did I get? I got a sticker. My husband, it was his first time at Philmont, so he's bought all the things.
I was going to say.
All the things. And then he and my oldest son did the Tooth of Time hike yesterday, so they're gonna buy the bull for and my younger son's gonna get the jacket. So a lot of money. The answer is a lot of money.
Yeah, especially first time for the boys.
Yes, exactly. Oh, Bob froze a little bit.
I heard you took out the ATM from outside Tooth of Time. Is that true?
I'm sorry, could you repeat it? You froze a little bit on my end.
Okay, I heard they took out the ATM and the only place to go for cash is in town.
I am not sure. I don't know that one. I brought lots of cash with me just in case.
I still have contacts there, and I heard they took it out and the bank's only open on Tuesdays in town.
I don't know. They are taking Apple Pay like everywhere here, which is pretty exciting because you don't have to carry cash with you. And so the kids can use their phone to pay for things.
Sure.
Any other questions, concerns, ideas? Anything? All right. Thank you for joining us live from Philmont. I hope it was fun. It was fun and stressful for us to do, but it was fun, mostly fun. We didn't know who our guests were going to be until we got here and did some asking. And the fact that we got Scott was pretty cool. So thank you for being awesome council. And I am so glad y'all came. I really appreciate it. See you next month.
Have a good time.
All right.
Safe travels.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.